Shoebox Treasures, the newest wing of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, showing the history of baseball cards. Right up all our alley. Absolutely awesome. It starts off with non-baseball, mostly non-sports. Shows some basketball and stuff like that as well, and hockey. But this is just a history of the hobby, a history of baseball cards, and it shows just a variety. It shows where they began and how they've been produced in different sizes and using different materials over the years. And you just see all this amazing stuff. And if you're a fan of baseball, if you're a fan of history, if you're a fan of sports cards, you're going to just get a kick out of this. It is absolutely amazing. There's just so much to see. Of course, there are baseball cards throughout the Hall of Fame, but this is really focused on that. Here you see some of the very earliest days, starting off with Allen and Ginter and Old Judge and T206s. An amazing history lesson on where cards began, how they got to the bubblegum era, how Topps got involved. You know, he started with Bowman, moved on to Topps, and just, it's wonderful. It is so much fun. The Hall of Fame in Cooperstown is an amazing time for everyone, but card collectors, you get an extra bonus for sure. This is absolutely beautiful. Of course, you see how things kind of exploded in the 80s and 90s and trended towards the new days with all the refractors and such. That card market boom. They'll need to add to that with 2021. Give you a look at how baseball cards are made to a degree, showing off a photograph and how it kind of develops with the card. And the different eras of cards. Profile shots, moving on to action shots, and things just continue to evolve. Then you have some digital stuff, different die cuts, different shapes. And they've always been around. There have been different varieties for decades and decades, but of course, we've seen more in recent years for sure. But just absolutely awesome. Some of the artistic takes. And then, of course, the flip and spin. They show you the history of how cards were played with in different ways. You've got Collector's Corner. This really shows a lot of stuff from like the late 70s, 80s, 90s, when baseball cards were mass produced for sure, and all the different ways they were distributed. You had the giant box sets. You had wax boxes. Of course, people used albums at one point. Even shows how cards began to be graded and such as well. Love this machine. I remember seeing these machines in some card shops back in the day. So very, very cool. Of course, you got some iconic ones we just saw there. And then another amazing section is the cards your mother threw away. And so unfortunate that so many of these cards did get thrown out. They have 39 drawers and actually expands to 42. And it's just amazing. Now, they're very hard to photograph. They look great there, but you just have this variety. I mean, starting with the Old Judge stuff, 1887 cards. You've got Allen and Ginters. You got Goodwin Champions. I mean, this is gorgeous. And drawer by drawer, it just shows off examples in chronological order. And it'd take a little too much time to show them all off. But you got the T206s right here. Obviously, a classic set. The Sporting Lifes from 1910 and 11. Just pulling out random drawers. How about this 1949 Leaf? And you just look at some of the cards. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams. Wow. Absolutely amazing cards. Now, this room is very dimly lit to protect the assets, of course. And then with these being behind glass, there are a lot of reflections and such. So hard to show off, but we got some old school Bowman, early year Topps. So much to see, and it just kind of continues on year by year. There you go, some 70 Topps. You got the Tattoo Tops, Top Supers. So these are fantastic to just roll through and admire and look at. Some 1985 Donruss. But this is amazing. And I've been to the Hall of Fame a number of times. And I had heard about the Shoebox Legends coming, but 2020 happened, so it was delayed a little bit. Got the era of Upper Deck, Flair, and Flair were great looking. So it was amazing to get to have an opportunity to finally check this out. And that just adds to the amazing, amazing Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Here in the late 90s and early 2000s, you had a lot of the nostalgic cards coming back. Of course, PWCC Vault has some drawers on display too, and these are a little crazy. 49 Bowman, Jackie Robinson in a 5.5, Larry Doby, 49 Bowman in a 5. Just amazing cards to look at. How about a Hank Aaron in a 5? I believe these are all cards that a collector has in the PWCC Vault that they gave permission for the Hall of Fame to display. So they're not, the PWCC Vault is not just cards that are for sale. So Roy Campanella, Satchel Paige. I mean, I spent a lot of time wandering around here looking at this stuff. Look at that, Willie Mays in a 5. Unbelievable. A Clemente rookie in a 5. Just absolutely gorgeous cards. And if you're a huge collector, you're a huge fan of baseball cards, you'll have an amazing time just staring at it. It's almost like the National without the crowds and with a chance to just sit there and stare at stuff. There's a Vladdy pristine Acuna. Man, it's rough if your mother threw some of these away, but so many did. Some modern cards here with the Miguel Cabrera, some tough parallels. Arenado, Juan Soto, first Bowman auto. And just when you think it's done, it's not quite done yet. You got this little hallway here. Got some information on those who were kind enough to donate portions of their collection. They have a little section where people can make custom cards or digital customs that they'll email to you. It's a little look at what it is. It's not a super small space. It's not huge, but plenty to look at. And then some holy grails behind dark glass. So, very cool. Holy grails, to each their own. Some we collect our own and we consider our own holy grails. But there are cards that are just amazing. Like a 1949 Leaf Jackie Robinson. But you press a little button and it lights up. Very, very cool. Here's a Cracker Jack, Christy Mathewson. I mean, these are unbelievable. It's amazing. The 52 Topps Mickey Mantle. I mean, of course, one of the all-time classics, one of the most recognizable cards of all time. 1923 Maple, Casey Stengel. 1909-11 white border, Eddie Plank. PSA graded. How about that Honus Wagner T206? The 54 Bowman Ted Williams short print, and that card is high grade, mint 9, crazy. Nap Loajaway, 33 Gowdy. And then a 2009 Bowman Chrome Draft Prospects Mike Trout red refractor auto and a 9.5 BGS. I mean, can't even imagine what that card goes for, but this section's amazing. You know, if you get a chance to go to Cooperstown, I absolutely recommend it. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, it's a no-brainer. Even if you're into American history, and that's one of the great things about baseball is its rich history in America. It's just crazy filled with it. And, you know, if you're a baseball card collector and a baseball card fan, and a serious one, I mean, you're going to enjoy just that much more. I mean, it's just astounding. It is awesome just walking around, glancing at all this stuff, seeing all these little pieces of history and baseball history and the different eras. I mean, you're talking, once again, late 1800s to current times. You're going to see a little bit of them all. It's absolutely amazing, absolutely wonderful. Definitely enjoyed the heck out of it, and I hope you enjoyed a little piece of it. Have a great one. See ya.